Chapter 1 I Traveled Through Time. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wow wow wow! A burst of crying rang out in a wooden house. A little baby boy was seen crying. An old woman in the house was helping to clean a newborn child. After the cleaning was completed, the baby was wrapped in a small blanket before going outside. Shouted. Everyone can come in. Suddenly, the door opened, and 4 people came in, 2 men and 2 women. One of the young men trotted in and asked in a hurry. Grandma Lan, how are you doing, both adults and children? That the person named Granny Lan said, Boss Yuan, your wife and children are all well, and you even gave birth to a big fat boy. Okay, we finally have a grandson. The middle-aged woman who came in from behind said that a middle-aged man and a young and beautiful girl behind her both had smiles on their faces. The young man who came in earlier and was still holding the child said at this time. Dad, Mom, little sister, look, I have a son, ha ha ha. The young man put the child in his mother's hands and came to the bedside. Seeing his wife's tired face, but full of smile, he asked. Honey, thank you for your hard work. The woman smiled and said, Brother Fei, I'm fine. We finally have our own child. In this way, Yuan Changqing was born. When Yuan Changqing could open his eyes and see the surrounding environment, he looked confused. Where is this? Wow wow wow. Yuan Changqing found that he could only make baby sounds and could not speak. At this time, a woman's voice sounded. Baby, be good, stop crying, mommy is here. Yuan Changqing didn't understand, but he also noticed something was wrong, and slowly fell asleep again amid the woman's comforting voice. Time is like running water, and a year has passed slowly. Yuan Changqing also knows the fact that he has traveled through time. He has grandparents, parents, and a sister-in-law at home. In his previous life, Yuan Changqing followed his grandfather since he was a child. His parents had been gone since he was a child. After his grandfather passed away, he ended up alone again. Thinking of his past life experience, Yuan Changqing is really speechless. After graduating from college, he was severely beaten by the society and achieved nothing. In the end, he picked up the Feng Shui technique given to him by his grandfather and was able to survive. Who knows that he was not good at learning these things? Thinking of his family's Feng Shui skills, Yuan Changqing sighed now. Thinking of his grandfather's teachings in his previous life, there was no requirement to learn how well, but he just hoped to pass them on. Fortunately, although he was not proficient in it, he knew it by heart. Ever since Yuan Changqing entered junior high school, his grandfather gave him a few books and asked Yuan Changqing to memorize them, and he would also explain the principles in them during holidays. In this way, Yuan Changqing graduated from college and his grandfather passed away. Now that I think about those books, one of them is Changchun Ju and 5 Animals Play. It is said that they were handed down by Huatuo's disciples. I don't know whether they are true or not. My grandfather is also a traditional Chinese medicine doctor. Yuan Changqing has learned it since he was a child, but he doesn't have it. If he had treated others, he would not have been in such a miserable state later on. The other 2 books were 2 Feng Shui books and a Feng Shui case that his grandfather had read, and a Chinese medicine treatment case that he left behind when he was packing up his belongings. After experiencing severe beatings from society, Yuan Changqing slowly picked up what his grandfather had taught him, especially Feng Shui, which mainly required certification of medical skills. A year after being reborn in this world, Yuan Changqing also knew that he had come to a world where he had read a novel in his previous life, Douluo Continent, a floor in a fantasy world, but no matter what, the floor was a fantasy world and not a fantasy world. Yuan Changqing also knew about the family members in this world: grandfather Yuan Tao, grandmother Lan Tong, father Yuan Fei, mother Lan Ling, sister-in-law Yuan Ling Long, and himself, still named Yuan Changqing. Soul Masters are the most noble group in Douluo Continent, and they are very rare compared to the total population of Douluo Continent. There are even fewer high-level soul masters, and ordinary people rarely come into contact with them. Yuan Changqing, but their family is a strange family. They all have awakened martial souls, and they also have soul power, and the martial souls are blue silver grass. As for how Yuan Changqing knew it, he naturally found out about it not long ago. Yuan Changqing asked curiously when his sister-in-law was teasing herself when she showed it at home after she had just obtained her first soul ring. These are some of the things Yuan Changqing knows, and he doesn't dare to ask more, for fear of revealing too much. After all, Yuan Changqing is only 1 year old now, so it's good to remain silent. During this year, Yuan Changqing also figured out how he traveled through time. In his previous life, since Yuan Changqing started helping people with Feng Shui, he was able to survive and slowly gained a little reputation. In his hometown town, he also became famous. Fortunately, his grandfather also left a small courtyard behind, which he used as a residence. There was also a storefront in front, and he also started a business. When I have nothing to do, I just read books and learn Feng Shui and medical skills. When I have clients, I do things. The last business Yuan Changqing received before traveling through time was to help find a cemetery to see if there were any geomantic treasures. After receiving the business, he started walking into the mountains and picked up a bead in a mountain stream. Later he returned home to check. At that time, Yuan Changqing was peeling an apple and accidentally cut his hand. The blood accidentally flowed out and dripped on the beads. The beads flew to the wound and disappeared. Yuan Changqing only felt that he was being absorbed by the beads. His own blood, I don't know how long it took, and his consciousness became blurred. When he woke up, Yuan Changqing became a baby. Chapter 2 Discovery of Cultivation. You are listening at MedicalKnowledge. Ever since Yuan Changqing knew that he had traveled to Douluo Continent, when he was 2 years old and could run and jump, he had to sleep alone so that Yuan Changqing could practice without fear of being discovered. However, it didn't take long for him to find that he was a little too happy. It's early. As long as the soul power cultivated the night before, you can feel it is gone the next day. It doesn't make sense. I can practice the eternal spring art. Although I couldn't in my previous life, I can feel it in this life. But why is my soul power gone? Is my body a funnel? Isn't it possible without awakening? Keep the soul power in your body. Yuan Changqing thought silently, but there was nothing he could do. After thinking about it again, it was wrong. How can Tang San be able to practice and reach a bottleneck before he needs to awaken and add a soul ring to continue practicing? Is it because of the technique? Or is he the protagonist? In the end, Yuan Changqing didn't come up with a reason. Although he couldn't retain the soul power in his body slowly became stronger through soul power nourishment. Finally, Yuan Changqing made a plan for himself. First of all, we need to understand the timeline of Douluo Continent. But don't worry about it. I'll ask my sister-in-law when I'm about to awaken. The second is the step-by-step practice of Changchun Ju, and 5 animals can also be practiced, as well as Feng Shui and medical skills. The third issue is how to pass it on to family members. This also needs to be considered. These cannot be leaked, otherwise there will be disaster. In the end, there is the biggest plan, to build a family. Of course, this plan is just a plan. Yuan Changqing is 5.5 years old, and it will be half a year before he awakens his martial soul. He is still the same, and the soul power he cultivated cannot be retained in his body, but he also needs to start his own plan. So Yuan Changqing ran outside his sister-in-law Yuan Linglong's room. Sister-in-law, are you here? Here, Changqing, come in. Do you need help from my sister-in-law? Yuan Linglong replied. Nothing, I just came to see you, hee. Hey, my little nephew will care about my aunt. I don't believe it. Tell me, what's the matter? Yuan Linglong pinched Yuan Changqing's face and said. Sister-in-law, can't you stop pinching my face? I'm already deformed. I'm just asking you about the soul master. I'm about to awaken my martial soul. I don't know if I can have soul power. My sister-in-law said, don't worry, there must be some. Although our family's martial spirit is a martial spirit like blue silver grass, our family has soul power after awakening. Sister-in-law, how do you know that our family has soul power? I heard from children outside that our family's martial soul is a waste martial soul. This blue silver grass is indeed regarded as a useless martial spirit in the soul master world, but blue silver grass also has its advantages, that is, it has strong vitality, so our family lives longer, ahaha. What else? Sister-in-law, why do all our families have soul power? This little sister-in-law doesn't know. Your grandfather said this before I awakened my martial spirit. He said that it has been like this since our ancestors. The highest cultivation reached the soul sect, and the descendants all have innate soul power, but it is not high. If you want to know, just ask your grandpa, that's all I know. Yuan Linglong's cultivation level is only 1 level, and she doesn't know much. So, little sister, how much innate soul power do you have when you awaken your martial spirit? I have level 3 innate soul power. I am the highest in our family now. Your parents, grandparents, and grandparents are all at level 2. The ancestors of our family in the past were basically at level 1 to 2. Yuan Changqing asked some other questions, which were basically common knowledge about Douluo Dalu. Moreover, his family was a commoner and he didn't know much about it. However, Yuan Changqing had read a lot of Douluo Dalu fan fiction in his previous life and felt that some of the theories in it were it still makes sense. Also, Yuan Changqing knew that there were royal families in blue silver grass on the Douluo Continent. This gave Yuan Changqing a lot of inspiration, that is, to accumulate the origin and evolve slowly. Although there can only be one royal family, but the royal family below the royal family, then is there a blue silver grass of the whole level? Yuan Changqing thinks there is. So it seems that as long as he continues to evolve, he may not be able to evolve to the blue silver emperor, and his family may not be able to have blue silver grass weapons such as the king level and the Ho level. Soul, but these are all conjectures. After all, although the Yuan Changqing family has soul power for generations and can practice, they are not high enough to explore the evolutionary path of blue silver grass. But Yuan Changqing is different. After all, he is from modern times. After watching in many Douluo Dalu fan fiction, as long as you awaken the martial soul and look at the problem, whether the soul power in the body can be retained only after awakening, then everything is possible. After so many years of understanding, Yuan Changqing also knew the location of his home. It was located in a village to the west outside Soto City, backed by a small mountain range. There were no spirit beasts in the mountains that were more than 100 years old, so safety was guaranteed. Later history Lake College is just south of Soto City, so the distance is still a bit far. During the past 5 years, Yuan Changqing also followed his own practice plan step by step. He practiced the Changchun Ju consciously at home in the evening, and in the morning he went to the top of the hill behind the mountain to practice Changchun Ju and 5 animals. He also recited Feng Shui medicine on a daily basis. Content, so as to review the past and learn the new, the time has slowly come for him to awaken his martial soul. Yuan Changqing has been looking forward to it for a long time, hoping that everything will come true. Chapter 3 Martial Spirit Awakening. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. Yuan Changqing has finally reached the age of 6. In 3 days, someone from the Wuhuan Hall will come to awaken the Wuhuan in Lanin village where he is located. Today, Grandpa notified the whole village about awakening the martial arts spirit. Because Grandpa Yuan Tao is the village chief, he needs to do these things. In the evening, Yuan Changqing's family was all there. They got together after dinner. They were not as neat as usual after dinner. Maybe they had something to explain to themselves. Changqing, your martial soul will awaken in 3 days, but you don't have to worry too much. Our family's ancestral martial soul is blue silver grass, and it all has innate soul power. When you awaken, you will be able to know your soul stronger. As for why I say you must have soul power, I don't know that, but our ancestors all have it, but there are messages from generation to generation, that is, the person getting married must have soul power, and in the junior level if you haven't reached level 20 after graduating from the academy, don't think about further studies, just go back to the village and live your life honestly, nothing else will matter. I think you also know some of the problems of our family's martial arts. Blue-silver grass has no offensive power. Of course, the level of blue-silver grass is high. We don't know whether it has any offensive power. The highest level of our family is the Soul Sect. That was a long time ago. Yuan Changqing nodded after hearing this and asked some questions. Grandpa, what level are you at now? Grandpa replied, Changqing, you also know that our innate soul power is inherently low, so our cultivation speed cannot be compared with those who have high innate soul power. I am 42 years old and my innate soul power is level 2. Now at level 36, I guess I've reached the end of my training. As for your grandma's level now being level 32, your parents will let them decide for themselves. Hearing this, maybe my father was relatively quiet, so my mother, Lan Ling, took over. Changqing, your father and I are the same age, both 24. Your father is now level 22, your mother is now level 21, and your sister-in-law is 17 years old and is now level 19. My sister-in-law stood up and said, Changqing, your sister-in-law is so awesome. Grandpa continued, don't look at your sister-in-law's talk of being great. In fact, it's just that. Those geniuses were all soul master soul sects at your sister-in-law's age. Of course, we can't compare with those geniuses. After all, our martial arts and innate soul power is doomed to slow our cultivation speed, so don't have any ideas as for you, just wait until you awaken your martial soul. That night, Yuan Changqing couldn't sleep. Maybe he was excited. He was finally about to wake up. After the excitement passed, he thought about the fact that he couldn't store soul power in his body, which made him feel distressed again. Oh, I still have to practice, just in case I succeed. So, Yuan Changqing got up from the bed again, sat up cross-legged and started to practice. Slowly, he found that today was different. Now he found the sea of consciousness in his mind. Originally, Yuan Changqing had the consciousness of an adult because of time travel. I have been practicing every day for the past few years without interruption. Although the soul power is no longer in my body, my physique has been nourished by the soul power. I guess I have a soul master level physique. At this time, Yuan Changqing found that he was on the water surface, which was golden in color and not very large in area. There was also a bead rising and falling inside. Suddenly, the bead shot a white light at his spiritual consciousness. He didn't even have time to react. Suddenly, Yuan Changqing, now I know what that white light is. It turns out that the bead is called the world bead. It is an innate spiritual treasure nurtured by heaven and earth. The specific level is still unknown, but it has the ability to travel between the virtual and real worlds. This is why Yuan Changqing can come to Douluo Continent. Also, it told Yuan Changqing that all his soul power had been absorbed by it. It was only today that he regained some ability and could automatically absorb energy from the outside world. He no longer needed to absorb Yuan Changqing's soul power. As for how Yuan Changqing died in his previous life, it was also because of the lack of energy in the end of the Earth's Dharma age. The World Pearl finally absorbed the energy of Yuan Changqing's blood, and used its last strength to bring Yuan Changqing's soul to Douluo Continent, allowing him to be reborn here, and also absorbed he has gained the soul power he has cultivated over the past few years, but it is not without its benefits. Now the World Pearl is Yuan Changqing's natal spiritual treasure. It also unlocks an ability, that is, the space inside the World Pearl can grow medicinal materials, accelerate growth, and can also be used as a storage magic weapon and can also store living things. In the future, as the World Pearl recovers, its power will gradually increase. With the recovery of the World Pearl in the past few years, Yuan Changqing's worries disappeared instantly, and he felt so relieved. Yuan Changqing murmured, "It seems that there is neither a problem with my skills nor a problem with my body. Now I can finally practice normally, but I still need to find something with energy to help the World Pearl recover. Take your time. Now I can still very weak." After practicing, Yuan Changqing fell asleep with a smile on his face. In 3 days, we arrived in the blink of an eye. Lanin village is also a big village, so the number of children who need to be awakened is still much more than in some small villages, with more than 20 children. Yuan Changqing's grandfather, Yuan Tao, came to the Wuhuan Hall in the center of the village. Of course, it was called the Wuhuan Hall, but it was actually a place specially designed to help the children in the village awaken their martial souls. Grandpa Yuan Tao greeted in front of the Wuhuan Hall. Now the children of each family who want to awaken the Wuhuan come to the front, and the adults stay at the back. There is an awakening ceremony every year. Everyone knows the rules, so I won't say more. Now I would like to invite the Soul Master from Wuhuan Palace to speak. Hello everyone, my name is Ma Long. I am the Soul Master who has awakened the Wuhuan this time. When we enter the Wuhuan Hall, everyone will line up. Yes, Master Soul Master. Then I won't say much more. Let's go to the Wuhuan Hall and start awakening your Wuhuan. So, more than 26-year-old children followed into the Wuhuan Hall. Chapter 4 Awakening the Martial Spirit. You are listening at MedicalKnowledge. As everyone entered the Wuhuan Hall, Grandpa Yuan Tao began to greet everyone to line up. There were many people who had awakened Wuhuan this year, so everyone lined up in 2 rows. Grandpa said, line up in 2 rows, and wait for the martial arts to awaken. After waiting in line, Grandpa Yuan Tao turned around and said to Ma Long, who was at the head, Master Ma Long, you can awaken the martial arts spirit for everyone. I will trouble you today. Good. After Grandpa Yuan Tao left the Wuhuan Hall, Ma Long said to everyone. My name is Ma Long, a level 28 Great Soul Master. I am your leader. I will now begin to awaken your martial soul. Ma Long took out 6 awakening stones and arranged the awakening formation. Yuan Changqing was the first to awaken because he was at the front. Malone said, Kid, you stand first and enter. Yes. Yuan Changqing replied. Possessed by a martial spirit. I saw Ma Long's martial spirit appearing. It was a horse with flames burning on its 4 hooves. 2 spirit rings, 1 white and 1 yellow, appeared. Some children were frightened. Ma Long said quickly, don't be afraid, everyone, this is my martial spirit. You will have your own martial spirit when you awaken slowly. Then he said to Yuan Changqing, my little friend, I will now awaken my martial spirit to you. You can feel it with your heart and then stretch out your right hand. With the input of Ma Long's soul power, Yuan Changqing closed his eyes and felt his martial soul. He slowly felt as if something was coming out of his body. He stretched out his right hand and saw a blue grass-like thing appear. It is the family's martial spirit blue silver grass, standing on the palm of my right hand. Ma Long saw Yuan Changqing's martial soul awakening, and took out the crystal ball to test the soul power, and said, your martial soul is blue silver grass, now put your hand on it to see if there is soul power. Yuan Changqing put his hand on the crystal ball and felt the soul power in his body pouring into the crystal ball. The crystal ball slowly lit up. After a while, the crystal ball stopped changing, and Ma Long said. Kid, what's your name? Your innate soul power is level 3, and you can train to become a soul master. Unfortunately, this blue silver grass is a useless martial soul. Master Soul Master, my name is Yuan Changqing. Okay, you stand aside first, and after the awakening is completed, I will sign the martial soul awakening certificate for you. Yes. After Yuan Changqing's martial soul awakened, more than 20 children began to awaken their martial souls one after another. Unfortunately, they were all civilians, unlike those soul master families who could basically awaken their innate soul power. After the last child's Wuhuan awakening was completed, everyone left the Wuhuan Hall one after another, and Grandpa Yuan Tao hurriedly stepped forward. Master Ma Long, is there anyone who has awakened his innate soul power this year? Ma Long said, Village Chief, this year there are 2 children in your village with innate soul power. The one named Yuan Changqing has level 3 soul power, Wuhuan Lanyan Ko, and there is a girl named Wang Yuyan, Wuhuan Changling, with level 4 soul power. Super soul power, but unfortunately, the martial souls are not very good. This is proof of their martial soul awakening. Thank you, Master Ma Long. It's lunch time now. Master, please eat before leaving. Ma Long was not polite and followed his grandfather Yuan Tao to his house for dinner. Yuan Changqing also walked behind and walked home with his parents who came to see his martial arts awakening. Douluo Continent, Haotian sect, today is the day when the Haotian sect's annual martial soul awakens. In the future, the youngest title Douluo in Douluo Continent is also among these awakened children. He is Tang Hao, the son of destiny in Douluo Continent, will also inherit his grandfather's title, Haotian, in the future. Brother, what do you think will happen if I awaken my martial soul talent today? Tang Hao asked the people around him with a worried look on his face. Brother Hao, don't worry. Our Haotian sect's martial spirit, the Haotian hammer, is the best martial spirit in the world. How can it be worse? Don't worry. Tang Xiao comforted his younger brother Tang Hao. Tang Xiao has already awakened his martial spirit, and his innate soul power is level 9. Today he came to see Tang Hao awaken his martial spirit, and now he is close to the Soul King. Quiet, that a man wearing an elder's attire said that today he was presiding over the awakening ceremony of the spirits of the disciples of the Haotian sect and the affiliated sects of the Haotian sect. He was also the second elder of the Haotian sect. The Haotian sect has 4 affiliated sects, namely the Force clan with the powerful guerrilla martial spirit, the Pa clan with the soul-breaking spear martial spirit, the Sensitive clan with the sharp-tailed swift martial spirit, and the plate-armored giant rhinoceros martial spirit. The Royal Clan. Get in line and start awakening your martial soul now, said the second elder. The first one is Tang Shui, martial spirit Haotian hammer, innate soul power level 6. Tang Hao, the martial spirit Haotian hammer, is innately full of soul power. The soul master who helped Tang Hao awaken the martial spirit shouted out excitedly when he saw that he was innately full of soul power. Yeah. Tang Hao also jumped up happily after knowing that he was innately full of soul power. Wow. The people below Haotian sect also exclaimed. Okay, the Haotian sect has a successor. The elder who presided over the awakening of the martial soul of the Haotian sect was so happy that he knew that Tang Hao was born with full soul power. At this time, there was a lot of discussion below. I didn't expect that Tang Hao's martial soul had innate soul power that was so good. Afterwards, the elder asked others to continue presiding over the awakening of the martial soul, and took Tang Hao to find the sect master. Tang Kai level 4. Tang Bao, Wuhuan Haotian hammer, innate soul power level 6. As the martial soul awakening rituals of the children of the Haotian sect and affiliated sects have come to an end, the awakening ceremony of the Haotian sect this year has been completed, and a disciple with innate soul power has appeared. He can be regarded as a successor and has the qualifications to be titled Blue Silver Village. At this time, Yuan Changqing was sitting cross-legged in his room, practicing the Changchun Ju hard, hoping to add a soul ring to himself as soon as possible. Changchun Ju has a total of 12 levels, which are progressively advanced. Because Yuan Changqing has the experience of practicing in the past few years, it is not difficult. Although Yuan Changqing could not store soul power in his body before, he had opened up many meridians. Now he only needs to have soul power to fill the meridians and continue to open the first level of meridians to meet the conditions for adding a soul ring. 10 days passed in the blink of an eye, and it was time for Yuan Changqing to go to school. Chapter 5 Going to School. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. Lanin Village entrance. Yuan Changqing's family of 5, including Wang Yuyan and her parents, are here. Today is the day they come to send Yuan Changqing and Wang Yuyan to school. Okay, don't worry, everyone. The village is not far from Soto City. If you want to see the children, you have plenty of time. It's getting late now, so we'll leave first. Grandpa said to everyone. Changqing, you have to be good at school and don't cause trouble, you know. Lan Ling told Yuan Changqing. I know, Mom, I'll be back after the holiday. Wang Yuyan's parents also said something to her, probably to let Wang Yuyan attend school with peace of mind. After speaking, they walked towards Yuan Changqing and the others. Changqing, if anything happens at school, you and Yuyan should help each other. You are a boy, please help us take care of Yuyan, okay? Wang Yuyan's mother said. Aunt Lan, no problem, I will take good care of Sister Yuyan. Thank you then. Lanin village basically has the surnames Yuan and Lan. It is said that it was because the ancestors here were a couple and their clansmen, so it gradually developed into what it is now. Of course, there are also some other surnames, which were slowly added to Lan later. It's from Yin village, so the martial arts spirits in the village are basically Blue's Silver Grass. Yuan Changqing and Wang Yuyan followed their grandfather Yuan Tao to the Soto City Junior Soul Master Academy. They entered the school smoothly without any obstruction by the bloody guards. Grandpa will send you here. You can sign up with your Martial Arts Awakening Certificate and Work Study Student Certificate. Grandpa will pick you up during the holidays. Grandpa Yuan Tao looked concerned. Okay, Grandpa. Okay, Grandpa Yuan. The two responded at the same time, and then entered the college with their luggage. After asking passers-by, they came to the registration office to register. Although Yuan Changqing's family are now soul masters and receive monthly subsidies from the Wuhuan Palace, their family is still richer than the average person. However, Lanin village is much larger than ordinary villages. There are 2 places for working study students every year. In order not to waste it, both of them are working study students. After the teacher's guidance, the 2 of them arrived at the work-study student dormitory. By this time, many people had already arrived. Yuan Changqing estimated that these were all senior students, but he didn't know if there were any other working study students besides himself and himself. Hello everyone, my name is Yuan Changqing, and she is Wang Yuyan. We are from the same village and are working study students this year. Hello everyone, I am Wang Yuyan. Yuan Changqing introduced himself to other people in the dormitory, and Wang Yuyan introduced herself in the same way. Hello Yuan Changqing, hello Wang Yuyan, my name is Iron Hammer, and I am the head of this dormitory. Following Tai Zhui's introduction, other people in the dormitory also began to say hello to the 2. Hello, Principal. Hello, Principal. After Yuan Changqing and the 2 responded, Iron Hammer also began to introduce some situations to the 2. My name is Iron Hammer, Wuhuan Black Iron Hammer. I am currently a 5th-year student with a soul power level 9. What about you? My name is Yuan Changqing, Martial Soul Blue Silver Grass, soul power level 3. My name is Wang Yuyan, Wuhuan Changling, soul power level 4. After some traditional exchanges, and with the addition of Yuan Changqing who didn't want to be in the limelight, Iron Hammer finally became the dormitory director. Since Yuan Changqing has practiced 5 animals, it is easy to deal with these roommates who do not have soul rings, but there is no need now. I am here to learn. Only through systematic study can I have a good understanding of Wuhuan. This is very important for Yuan Changqing's follow-up plan. At this time, a teacher walked in from the door and asked the dormitory. Who are Yuan Changqing and Wang Yuyan? I am Yuan Changqing. I'm Wang Yuyan. The teacher looked at the 2 of them and said, you are this year's work-study students. You 2 will be responsible for cleaning the school library every day. You will know how to do it exactly when you get to the library and ask the administrator there. Okay, teacher, thank you, teacher. Yuyan, let's use the 2 beds next to each other here. Let's make the beds first, and then buy some toiletries and so on. Yuan Changqing said to Wang Yuyan. Okay, brother Changqing. After a lot of work, the 2 of them made their own beds and asked their roommate where to buy toiletries. The 2 of them quickly went to buy these things. Tomorrow is the school's opening ceremony, and Yuan Changqing has also started his college career. Yuan Changqing, who came to school, lived a very busy life every day, including classrooms, canteens, libraries, dormitories, and his own little tail Wang Yuyan. Wang Yuyan may have a personality problem. She is a bit introverted, but she is also very cute and beautiful. She studies and practices with herself every day. Because it is a Junior Soul Master Academy, the school teachers give everyone basic knowledge about martial arts. If you want to learn other knowledge, you can only study by yourself. For these, you need to go to the library to read, so Yuan Changqing often goes to the library to read. Wang Yuyan also accompanied him silently. Yuan Changqing estimates that it will take almost 2 years to get books from the library. After all, study requires a balance between work and rest. He cannot go every day, otherwise he may go crazy. In addition to learning things from this world, Yuan Changqing also needs to study hard what he gave to Yuan Changqing in his previous life, especially Changqing, 5 Animal Opera and Feng Shui. Changqing is mainly about cultivating soul power and mental power, which are very important and will be very useful to Yuan Changqing in the future. The things in Feng Shui are more magical. These are the precious treasures left to Yuan Changqing by his grandfather in his previous life. Those Feng Shui books not only contain information about Feng Shui, but also Feng Shui formations and refining tools for refining Feng Shui instruments. Methods, as well as the drawing of talismans, are all related to Feng Shui. After all, Feng Shui has the function of gathering energy, attracting blessings, and improving one's luck. In addition to physical exercise, Wu Qin also contains several elixirs, which can improve physical fitness, strengthen physical fitness, repair physical fitness, etc. This is very useful for your family, and can make up for the innate low soul power and weak physical fitness. Question: these all require strong soul power and mental power, so Yuan Changqing's confidence in cultivation is still the foundation brought by his previous life. Chapter 6: An Unexpected Discovery. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. After the World Pearl regained some of its abilities, Yuan Changqing started experimenting with the abilities that this innate spiritual treasure brought to him. Since the World Bead has only restored a trace of its ability, it can plant medicinal materials in the World Bead, which can accelerate the growth rate of the medicinal materials without affecting the medicinal properties. So after Yuan Changqing's martial soul awakened, he found some common medicinal materials in the back hill of Blue Silver Village and transplanted them into the World Pearl. He also transplanted some plants, such as blue silver grass, sword bamboo, peach tree, etc., but they were all 10 kinds of medicinal materials. An annual plant-type soul beast, however, after Yuan Changqing got some soul beasts in and died immediately, he guessed that the World Pearl may not be enough for the survival of beast souls, and the plant-type soul beasts still need to be observed. After a year of observation, it was found that the plant-type soul beasts that were originally transplanted grew faster than those on the Douluo Continent. Especially the blue-silver grass, which has now grown to a century-old level. Others have also accelerated, but not the blue-silver grass. Silver grass is obvious. I don't know if it's because blue-silver grass is my martial spirit, or if it's because of the bloodline level of these plant-type soul beasts. Yuan Changqing guessed that it was probably due to the bloodline level, because blue-silver grass Douluo was everywhere on the continent and could survive in any environment. After a year of study, after the school holiday, Yuan Changqing returned to Lanin village and learned the good news that his sister-in-law Yuan Linglong had broken through level 20 and was waiting to obtain the soul ring. Ever since he knew that Wuhuan would be blue-silver grass, Yuan Changqing had designed several Wuhuan evolution routes for himself through many Douluo Dalu fan novels he had read in his previous life, but he didn't know if they would work. That night, after dinner, Yuan Changqing stopped his family and prepared to ask about their martial arts soul rings. Yuan Changqing had never asked in detail before, and it was not convenient to ask, mainly because he was afraid of exposing himself. After all, he had no knowledge in this area, and they would not believe him if he told him. But it is different now. Changqing, why did you stop us? Grandpa Yuan Tao asked everyone's question. Seeing the concerned and confused looks on everyone's faces, I knew that everyone had misunderstood me and thought I was in some kind of trouble. Grandpa, Grandma, Father, Mother, and sister-in-law, I have something to ask you, but what I want to ask may not be what you think. My sister-in-law smiled and said, how do you know what we think? Sister-in-law, you still know how to bully me. I just bullied you. Don't you want to? Aha! The sound made Yuan Changqing's scalp tingle. Thinking of the time when his sister-in-law teased him, his mood suddenly became less beautiful, so Yuan Changqing smiled apologetically and said, Sister-in-law, how could it be possible? You are the person I respect and love the most. When Grandma saw this, she quickly scolded her sister-in-law, Ling Long, "How old are you, and you still bully your nephew?" "Humph." My sister-in-law looked dissatisfied. My mother, Lan Ling, stopped my grandma in time to prevent her from continuing to scold my sister-in-law and turn her head to me. "Changqing, if you need anything, please tell me quickly." Yuan Changqing also knew what was going on. When he saw his grandma scolding his sister-in-law, he quickly told his own story to avoid causing trouble to Qiyu. "Grandpa, isn't my sister preparing to add a second soul ring? I have some ideas and would like to ask you about the status of your soul rings." Everyone was a little surprised to see Yuan Changqing come back like this. "Oh. Then ask." Grandpa said. "It's what kind of soul beast you use to add soul rings. Maybe you don't know. In addition to taking classes this year, I also read a lot of books about soul beasts and martial arts in the library. So, I am familiar with. We have a lot of ideas for the soul ring of blue silver grass in our family." Everyone was a little shocked when they heard what Yuan Changqing said, so Grandpa spoke on behalf of everyone. "Our blue silver grass martial soul has little attack power, has strong vitality, and is not good at fighting. Therefore, our ancestors asked us to go home after finishing the Junior Soul Master Academy. Don't think about going out to make a living, otherwise our lives will be in trouble. I don't even know when to throw it away. Also, our blue silver grass martial spirit has low innate soul power, and no matter how hard we practice, it can't get anywhere. Therefore, our family always attaches whatever plant-type martial spirit we encounter to any suitable plant-type martial spirit." The soul ring of the beast. Grandpa continued, "Of course, this is how our ancestors used to be. As for me, when I was studying in school, since there was no soul hunting forest here in Soto City, I had no choice but to go to the Star Do Forest. So, I went to the Star Do Forest to hunt for soul beast soul rings with the teachers from the academy. I randomly hunted the first soul ring on the outskirts of the forest. At that time, the soul ring of the blue silver grass soul beast was attached, and the soul skills produced were soul power. Light can help teammates replenish 20% of their soul power, and reduce it by half for yourself." Yuan Changqing asked again, "Grandpa, are you an auxiliary soul master now?" "Yes, and no, we'll talk about this later. My second soul ring is still attached to the blue silver grass martial soul ring, and the soul skill is the light of life, which can help teammates reduce damage by 20% and reduce it by half for myself. The third soul ring I added is the century-old iron sword and bamboo soul beast soul ring. The soul skill is the blue silver sword, which can increase my attack power by 20%. This turns me into an offensive soul master. So, I am both an auxiliary soul master and an offensive soul master. How about it, Changqing, don't you think it's incredible?" Yuan Changqing also found it incredible. Hearing his grandfather ask this question, he replied, "It's really incredible. Generally, the direction a soul master chooses cannot be changed. I didn't expect that Grandpa could actually change from an auxiliary system to an offensive system soul master. I think at this time, because the soul ring of the blue silver grass martial soul is attached to the blue silver grass soul beast, what is produced is an auxiliary soul skill. In fact, at this time, our martial soul has not determined the direction at all. I don't know if that's right." "Ah, Grandpa." "Ha ha ha." Grandpa laughed loudly and said, "Yes, although our martial soul is blue silver grass and has low innate soul power, our ancestors have always had soul power and the ancestral training, so we can generally cultivate to level 20 or more. At level 30, you can figure out these rules." Chapter 7 Vision for the Development of Blue Silver Grass. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Yuan Changqing also didn't expect that his ancestors had figured out some additional rules for soul rings, but this was consistent with his own ideas, and Grandpa and the others were on the right path, so he didn't have to worry. However, they may only know how to add soul rings according to the rules passed down by the older generation, and have not thought about martial souls in depth. But the same goes for adding some of your own theories later. So Yuan Changqing said again. "Then Grandma, are they the same as you? Grandpa said, the first two soul rings of your grandma, mom and dad, and your sister-in-law are all the same, although your sister-in-law hasn't added the second soul ring yet. At this time, Grandma intervened and said, Changqing, Grandma is an auxiliary plus control soul master. My third soul ring is attached with the plant-type soul beast spiked thorns and the soul skill group control thorn cage. Grandpa added, this is how our family adds soul rings. It's just that the soul skills of the first and second soul rings are not fixed, but the soul skills are the same, just divided into front and back. For example, your mother's soul skills are the same as those of the first and second soul rings. Our soul skills are opposite. Now tell me what you think and see what you learned in school. We can also refer to it. Okay, grandparents, parents, and sister-in-law. Although I didn't expect that our family ancestors have figured out some rules, my ideas coincide with these rules, but there are some additions. Yuan Changqing wrote, my sister-in-law also became interested at this time and quickly asked Yuan Changqing to express her thoughts quickly. Changqing, tell me what you have to say. Whether I can become a master in the future depends on you. Hey, sister-in-law, let me tell you what I think. Grandpa, Grandma, Mom and Dad will also listen. As for me, when I heard that my sister-in-law is now at level 20, I was going to ask her to add a blue silver grass soul beast to her second soul ring, but I didn't expect that you have already done this. Ha ha ha. Everyone laughed. When I heard the teacher explain at school that martial arts are also divided into levels, martial arts are divided into low level, intermediate, high level, top level, and super. There is also why many people don't have innate soul power. I was wondering why. Later I was in the library and read some introductions about martial arts from the book. Why do the same martial spirits have different innate soul powers? Whether they are low-level or high-level martial souls, there is a gap in innate soul power. Also, I have a guess about the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex spirit actually absorbing spirit beasts with dragon bloodline. Everyone was also a little curious. Dad, who usually doesn't talk much, actually spoke. Son, what are you guessing? Dad Yuan Fei looked curious. Dad, I think it's bloodline, or origin. For example, the blue electric Tyrannosaurus can only become stronger by absorbing the soul rings of soul beasts with dragon bloodline. This allows the blue electric Tyrannosaurus to enhance its bloodline and origin. And the martial souls on the mainland are stronger than other soul rings in absorbing the soul rings of similar soul beasts, except of course the soul rings of those top-grade soul beasts. Everyone nodded, and Yuan Changqing continued. So, I think our blue silver grass martial spirit may be able to develop, but there are a few prerequisites. Of course, this is my guess. The first is to enhance the bloodline and origin of the blue silver grass martial spirit. How to enhance it? Everyone asked hurriedly. This is what I said before. I didn't expect that our ancestors actually figured out some rules, which coincide with my thoughts, that is, it is best to have the soul ring of the blue silver grass soul beast attached to the first three soul rings. Moreover, adding that the first three soul rings are all from blue silver grass soul beasts can enhance the bloodline and origin of the blue silver grass martial soul. I think this should increase our innate soul power. Let's practice faster. Second, it's the environment. I heard that those high-level soul master academies have places for mimicry training. I think we can plant blue silver grass in and around our yard, as well as at home. This might be able to play a role in mimicry. The effect of the training ground. Third, the additional soul ring must be a plant-type soul beast, and it must be a plant-type soul beast with attributes similar to our martial soul. Otherwise, the soul ring and the martial soul may conflict. Fourth, if we can attach a 10,000-year-old blue silver grass soul beast to our seventh soul ring, our martial soul may become even more powerful. Finally, I concluded that if we add the blue silver grass spirit ring to our first three spirit rings, our martial spirit may evolve into an intermediate martial spirit. If my guess is successful and I can cultivate to the Soul King level, then the blue silver grass martial spirit can evolve into an advanced martial spirit. If you cultivate to level 70 and add the soul ring of the 10,000-year blue silver grass soul beast, the martial soul can evolve to the top martial soul. Such a top-level martial spirit can be cultivated to a title Douluo. At that time, the blue silver grass martial spirit can even evolve into a super martial spirit. These are also my guesses. After all, I don't have much knowledge about martial arts, so. Yuan Changqing didn't say anything about the last so, but even these shocked everyone, and they couldn't come back for a long time. After everyone digested it for a while, Yuan Changqing asked. Grandpa and Grandma, what do you think? Not at this time. Grandpa stopped talking and thought about it for a while. Changqing, what you said today sounds very reasonable, but we don't have much access to martial arts knowledge, and I don't know if your guess is correct. But, what you said, what we can do now is the mimicry practice you mentioned. This can be done. After all, blue silver grass is everywhere. This is very simple. As for the rest, it depends on what your parents and your sister-in-law choose. They can still choose based on your guess. Your grandma and I have determined our own direction now. It is not certain whether we can cultivate to a higher level in the future. Woolen cloth. At this time, everyone was relatively silent, not knowing how to choose. Chapter 8 The First Soul Ring. You are listening at MedicalKnowledge. Maybe what Yuan Changqing said had a big impact on everyone, and they didn't know what to do. Whether to follow the steps and practice as is, or to change the practice, everyone was silent. I think we can add soul rings according to Changqing's theory. Our martial souls are originally useless martial souls. Their innate soul power is low. No matter how hard we cultivate, they will be like that. If Changqing's theory is correct, then we can move towards a higher level. Why not? Just treat us as the elders and open up the way for the younger generations. Even if we fail, there will be no loss. Yuan Fei, who was usually taciturn, didn't expect to say such reasonable words. Yes, Yuan Changqing's family's martial arts were like that, there was nothing to hesitate about. My sister-in-law also said, yes, no matter how much we practice our martial arts now, they can't compare to those martial arts above the intermediate level. There is nothing to hesitate about. When everyone heard this, they felt it made sense, and finally Grandpa Yuan Tao made a plan for future training. Okay, we have all reached a dead end. From now on, we will follow what Changqing said. Maybe this is a decision that will open up our family's glory and will be admired by future generations. In this way, Yuan Changqing's family made this very great decision. What they didn't know was that it was because of this decision that the great blue-silver family was later created and has always stood in Douluo Continent, so, starting from the next day, Yuan Changqing's family began to decorate their home, preparing to build a mimicry practice field, and also arranged a Feng Shui array using blue-silver grass based on their own Feng Shui skills. Since the mimicry Feng Shui array practice field was set up, as time passed, their family's practice speed was indeed much faster than before, which also gave Yuan Changqing's family a glimmer of hope. Moreover, the blue-silver grass in the Feng Shui array also benefited from it and grew faster, which was also an unexpected surprise. Another year has passed. Yuan Changqing has been studying in school for 2 years and is preparing to add the first soul ring to himself. In fact, not long after the second semester started, Yuan Changqing's soul power reached level 10, but in order not to make people feel too shocked, I did not add a soul ring, but I was working hard to lay a solid foundation before delaying it until the holiday. Even so, people would be shocked if Yuan Changqing's innate soul power is level 3. After all, he has reached level 7 in just 2 years. Many people with the same soul power level as him usually need 4 or 5 years of training to reach level 10. This time, the blue-silver grass soul beast that Yuan Changqing attached a soul ring to was one he cultivated in the World Pearl, Laning Village, Back Mountain. Yuan Changqing is sitting cross-legged next to a rock, and a circle of yellow soul rings is falling on his body and rotating slowly, which is absorbing the soul rings. After about an hour, Yuan Changqing finally succeeded in attaching the soul ring, and the first soul skill was indeed the same as his family's, the light of soul power. Although he practiced Changchun Ju, he still did not become different in terms of additional soul rings. After all, in Douluo Continent, martial soul is the basis of cultivation, and this is the law of this world. Although Eternal Spring Art allows Yuan Changqing to continue practicing after attaching a soul ring, the stronger the martial soul, the more powerful his own talent will be. Ordinary blue-silver grass and blue-silver emperor are not the same. After returning home, Yuan Changqing told his family that he had attached a soul ring, and his family also asked when and where he had attached the soul ring. In the back mountain, I found a century-old blue-silver grass spirit beast that absorbed his spirit ring. As he said that, Yuan Changqing showed his soul ring to everyone, and a bright yellow soul ring slowly rotated. My sister-in-law asked, "Changqing, how old is your soul ring?" "Sister-in-law, it's just over 400 years old." "How about it?" "It's not bad." "Ah. That's not much lower than my second soul ring. Mine is only over 500 years old, and my first soul ring is only over 200 years old. It's far worse than yours." My sister-in-law looked unhappy. "Ha ha ha, sister-in-law, your nephew will get you a 1,000-year-old third soul ring when the time comes." "This is what you said, I didn't force you." My sister-in-law said matter-of-factly. Yes, I volunteered, okay." Yuan Changqing also looked helpless. Hee, that's pretty much it. At this time, everyone was also happy that Yuan Changqing had a soul ring. The sister-in-law suddenly thought of something and looked at Yuan Changqing expectantly. "Changqing, you are also at level 3 innate soul power, how come you can cultivate so fast?" That everyone also reacted and looked at Yuan Changqing with puzzled faces. At this time, Yuan Changqing had already made preparations. This was originally prepared for his family. He had wanted to take it out before, but he had no source, so he postponed it until now. Just when my sister-in-law asked, Yuan Changqing took the opportunity to take it out, but they were all handwritten copies. The first 7 levels of Changchun Ju and the practice method of 5 animals were not taken out. After all, they had to be kept secret until they could protect themselves in the future. The power is coming up with the follow-up. Of course, I had an unexpected encounter. I was buying books at a street stall in Soto City and found a book. There was a mezzanine inside the book cover. There was an advanced cultivation method and body refining method in it. That's why I practiced so fast. Quick, take it out and let my sister-in-law see it." So Yuan Changqing took out the manuscript and handed it to everyone. "Here, I copied this by hand. I wrote down the original and hid it. I will take it out when I get stronger. Let's all write down these skills first, and then burn the manuscript. We can't leak it. Get out, or let outsiders know, it will be a disaster." When Grandpa heard what Yuan Changqing said, he was also very solemn. Everyone listened to Changqing, take turns to read the exercises first, and destroy them immediately after writing them down. After all, our family does not have the strength. Yes. Everyone said in unison. Chapter 9 Learning to Blacksmith. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. After receiving the exercises, Yuan Changqing's family took turns watching them. After everyone memorized them, they immediately destroyed the 2 books. Now, with the skills, the family can practice faster together with the Feng Shui mimicry array. Grandpa and Grandma will reach level 40 just around the corner, and Mom, Dad, and sister-in-law are also charging towards level 30. Yuan Changqing also has a new plan, which is to learn blacksmithing. Now Tietue has become a first-level soul master after graduation, and the Tietue family has a blacksmith shop in Soto City, which is convenient for him. At the beginning of the new semester, Yuan Changqing and Wang Yuyan came to school together, and then went to the Wuhuan Hall in Soto City alone, preparing to register as a soul master so that they could get a gold soul coin every month. "Hello, I'm here to register as a soul master. Where can I register?" Yuan Changqing came to the gate of Wuhuan Palace in Sachuo City and asked the guard. Just go to the room on the left on the second floor and you'll find out. The doorman responded. Thank you, big brother. It's nothing, go quickly. After arriving on the second floor, nothing unexpected happened. After all, Yuan Changqing's martial spirit was blue silver grass. The people inside didn't ask any questions. After receiving the subsidy, they went to find the hammer. In the past, Tai Jui said that after awakening his martial soul, he began to learn blacksmithing from his father during the holidays. Now that he has become a soul master, he has also become a junior blacksmith. Hammer, where are you? Yuan Changqing saw the hammer making iron, and quickly walked into the blacksmith shop and said to the hammer. After Tai Chui saw Yuan Changqing, he came over quickly. Hey, Changqing, why are you free to come to my place today? Tai Hammer, I didn't come to you for help because I have something to do. Tell me, if my hammer can do anything, I will definitely do it for you. Iron Hammer said, patting his chest. When Yuan Changqing saw Tai Shui's majestic appearance, he didn't waste any time talking to him and directly told him the purpose of his visit. Iron Hammer, you also know that my martial spirit is blue silver grass, which is not a good martial spirit. So I just want to see if I can learn blacksmithing from you in your blacksmith shop. Is that okay? When Tai Chui heard Yuan Changqing's words, he looked surprised and thought to himself, are you kidding me? Changqing, your martial spirit is blue silver grass, unlike mine, which is a black iron hammer. You are not suitable for blacksmithing. Yuan Changqing also knew that what Tai Hammer said was true, but in order to forge suitable materials and refine Feng Shui instruments in the future, he made up a random reason for Tai Hammer. Tai Hammer, I know what you're talking about. I just want to learn another skill so that when I'm in the village, I can make hoes for the villagers. Tai Jui thought for a moment and said, okay, Changqing, wait for me here, and I'll tell my dad and see what he means. After saying that, Hammer walked towards the counter of the blacksmith shop. Over there, he was talking to a middle-aged man who looked similar to Iron Hammer, and then he made a gesture like Yuan Changqing and walked over again. Changqing, I told my father, and he said you can come every afternoon, but there is no salary. You have to start as an apprentice, and you will be given 2 meals. Yuan Changqing looked grateful. Well, Hammer, thank you very much. I'll come back the day after tomorrow. Well, school starts tomorrow, so I'll go back and clean up now. Okay, you can come when the time comes. After agreeing on the blacksmithing matter, Yuan Changqing walked towards the school. In the following days, Yuan Changqing began to go to the blacksmith shop to learn blacksmithing. Due to the loneliness and lack of soul guidance technology on Douluo Continent, current blacksmiths basically perform 100 forgings when forging or materials, and few blacksmiths can reach the level of 1,000 forgings. According to what Yuan Changqing knew among the 3 Douluo, in order to make a soul guide, only materials reaching the 1,000th level can be useful. It is also necessary to use the blood of the forger to communicate the spirituality in the material. Only with spiritual materials can it be considered a complete 1,000 forged material. Now Yuan Changqing is mainly mastering the blacksmith's force-generating skills. In addition, Yuan Changqing is now a first-level soul master, and he has practiced 5 animals. As long as Yuan Changqing's body fully grows in the next few years, he can officially start the blacksmith's work. Career. Evergreen is here. After Tai Chui saw Yuan Changqing coming to the blacksmith shop, he stepped forward to say hello. Hammer, I'm going to officially study in the blacksmith shop now. Okay, Changqing, do you know how iron is struck? This, Hammer, I really don't know. I have only seen blacksmithing, but I don't know how to blacksmith. This is the purpose of my study. After Tai Chui learned about Yuan Changqing's situation, he began to explain some basic conditions of blacksmithing. Come to Changqing, your main task now is to pull the bellows and control the heat. If you don't understand it yet, I will find you a master first. You can follow him these days and learn from her. Later, you can do it yourself. Come and do it. Okay, thank you, Hammer. It's okay, we are all brothers from the same dormitory. Tai Jui said boldly. Since coming to the blacksmith shop, Yuan Changqing has started some basic learning about blacksmithing. A year has passed, time passed like running water, and Yuan Changqing went back and forth between the school and the blacksmith shop. Although it cannot yet reach the level of 100 Dan, it can still process some elementary ores. Yuan Changqing returned to school. After learning the news, Wang Yuyan told him that she had finally upgraded to level 10. Yuyan, have you considered what kind of soul ring you will attach? Brother Changqing, you also know that my martial soul is Changling. I don't know what kind of soul ring will be more beneficial to me now. Wang Yuyan looked at me expectantly, wanting me to give her some advice. Yuan Changqing pondered for a moment. Yuyan, it's really hard to add soul rings to your martial soul. It can be of control system, strong attack system, defense system and agility attack system. But its advantages and disadvantages are very obvious. So my suggestion to you is to focus on the agility and attack system. Wang Yuyan looked thoughtful, and she was also thinking about the advice I gave her. Brother Changqing, can you give me a detailed analysis of their strengths and weaknesses? No problem. Let's talk about the control system first. Changling can wrap it, but it's not tough enough. The attack power of the strong attack system is not enough, and the defense system is not strong enough to prevent it. So all things considered, the agility and attack system is the most suitable. As long as the soul ring is properly chosen, you can rely on speed to defeat your opponent. Moreover, you can also combine it with the control system, so that you can achieve agility and attack plus control, which greatly improves your strength. Chapter 10 Feng Shui Treasure Land. You are listening at MedicalKnowledge. Although Wang Yuyan was introverted, she was also very decisive and soon accepted Yuan Changqing's suggestion. Brother Changqing, I've thought about it, and I'll do as you say, use agility attack and control. Okay, then let's seriously think about which soul beast to choose. After some discussion between the two, they finally chose to add the golden thread vine to the first soul ring. After all, their strength was there and they still had to rely on their teacher, so they chose to strengthen the strength and control of the martial soul first, so, they immediately found the teacher. After the teacher understood the situation, it happened that there were several students who also needed to add soul rings at the end of this year, so they could go together. After telling the teacher about the additional soul beasts they planned to add, the teacher agreed. Because this was a collective action of the college, Yuan Changqing did not go with him. After bidding farewell to the teacher, the two returned to the dormitory, and Yuan Changqing began to give Wang Yuyan some precautions. Yuyan, when you go hunting for soul beasts, you must be careful. You must follow the teacher closely, stay attentive, and avoid danger when encountering it. Do you understand? I know, I'll pay attention, Brother Changqing. Wang Yuyan arrived obediently. It's finally a holiday, and Yuan Changqing has had a very fulfilling year. The school semester ended in a few days after Wang Yuyan came back from hunting for a soul beast ring last time. Wang Yuyan also obtained her first soul ring. The result was also very ideal. After all, it was not a powerful soul beast, it was quite easy for the teachers. The main thing was to pay attention to the safety of the students in the forest. No accidents happened and everyone came back safely. Blue Silver Village, two figures walked into Lanin village. They were Yuan Changqing and Wang Yuyan who had returned from school. They said hello to some uncles and aunts on the roadside, and then returned home separately. Now Yuan Changqing's home is full of greenery, because based on Yuan Changqing's suggestions, the Feng Shui mimicry array they arranged has already entered a mature stage. The blue-silver grass transplanted in the Feng Shui array is much stronger than before, and some of them are 100 years old. Moreover, in addition to taking care of their own fields, Yuan Changqing's family also started a side business, which was to use the leaves of blue-silver grass and grain to make wine, which also increased the family's income a lot. Although Yuan Changqing has made some plans for his family, only the Feng Shui mimicry array is going smoothly, and there is no hope for the others, but there is no rush. After all, the time is too short and the plan cannot be carried out, right? But it's coming soon. Mom and Dad are not far away from the Soul Master. They will be able to continue in about another year. My sister-in-law may also be able to reach the Soul Master in just 1 or 2 years. Yuan Changqing estimates that he will reach the level of a 25th level Soul Master before graduation. After all, his understanding of eternal spring is much better than that of his family. When Yuan Changqing returned home, he practiced in addition to practicing. He basically spent the day in the back mountain. The back mountain is a small mountain range. He also wanted to see if there were any good Feng Shui treasures here. After all, he had a Feng Shui inheritance. It would be wrong if he didn't apply what he learned. What a waste. Therefore, after finishing practicing every day, he would go to the mountains to observe. If he could find a treasure, he would make a fortune. This would be very beneficial to his family's inheritance. A sound came from Yuan Changqing's mouth. He discovered something, so he quickly ran in and observed it carefully. Although he has made some discoveries, he is still not sure who made him half-finished in his previous life. In addition, there are no auxiliary Feng Shui instruments, so more investigation is needed. After half a month of investigation, Yuan Changqing ran around the place and was finally able to confirm that it was a geomantic treasure. God is really helping me. These half-months were not in vain. If I had a compass, why would I have wasted so much effort? But it is not without gain. At least my Feng Shui theory has been put into practice. A burst of laughter relaxed Yuan Changqing's mood. He felt it carefully again and confirmed again that there was nothing wrong. It seemed that the theory of the previous life could be confirmed in this world, so there would be no worries. There are mountains and water, surrounded by mountains on 3 sides, and a basin in the middle, shaped like a gourd. What a blessed land! With the opening in front, there is still a slight breeze. It is a treasure place to hide the wind and gather energy. There should be water eyes in the lake, otherwise it will not form a lake. Add wind to gather energy and bring wealth. Not bad, wonderful, wonderful. He repeatedly praised Yuan Changqing for finding a treasure land of Feng Shui in the small mountains behind Lanin village, and the foundation of the family was established. After he built the magic weapon to arrange Feng Shui, he could let this treasure land play its value and ensure the family's prosperity. Prosper, although the family cannot dominate the Douluo Continent, it can still make the family strong and pass on. Well, give this treasure place a name. There are 7 small peaks around it, plus the exit to form Bagua. There is a lake in the middle. Let's call it 7 stars accompanying the moon. It seems that we need to think carefully about the layout of the formation in the future. It requires the integration of 2 sets of formations. No, it requires 3 sets of formations. As long as it is properly arranged, this place can not only become a treasured place for cultivation, but also make the people living here healthier. It may also make it easier for them to have innate soul power when they awaken their martial spirits. It really serves multiple purposes. We can't expose this place yet. Let's wait until I become stronger before setting it up. At least I have to reach Soul Saint. Even if I find it in the future, I can keep this geomantic treasure. It seems that the strength is still not enough. It is really an empty treasure that cannot be enjoyed. After leaving the mountain pass, I observed this place. It is not far from home, less than 100 meters away in a straight line. In the future, we only need to rebuild a house outside here and design it carefully. This can be done in advance and can be started immediately when needed in the future. In the next few days, Yuan Changqing went to the Feng Shui treasure land again, drew a lot of drawings, and completed the preparations first, so he didn't pay too much attention to it.